Welcome everyone to the SERL Hot Wheels Cup Series Season 2, Race 23 at Talladega Superspeedway, a 2.66 mile oval. It is fast, it is high banked, it is ferocious. This is what makes Talladega so intense, exciting, and one of those must-see events of the season, no matter what series heads to this racetrack. And what can we see today? Well, here's what I think we'll see. I think we're gonna have the perfect mixture of moments where where it's calm, you can relax, everything will be all fine. But then there are gonna be those moments. It could happen early in the race, it could happen in the middle of the race, or it could happen towards the end, where things all of a sudden really rev up, excite you, and there might be a moment where you go, "What did I just watch?" You know, that is all possible. And when I think back to last week's race at Dover, even though Dover is a 1 mile concrete oval, the race in there had similar things that I think we'll see today. It had a lot of drama, it had a lot of action, and there were definitely some memorable moments, such as a scoring error. And in that race, we had a first-time winner, Kevin Saunders. And I think that at Talladega, where anyone can win, it does not matter where you start. You could be on the pole, you could start dead last, you can start in the middle of the field. It doesn't matter. Anyone can win this race. And so to me, I think that opens the door for a first-time winner. And there are several drivers looking to get their first career victory. And many of these drivers are high up in points. And speaking of high up in points, that's where I'm going to lead into my next discussion. We currently have 5 drivers with a mathematical shot of winning this championship. Carter Sinclair, Ariel Parks, Abe Troxel, Bubba Buchanan, and Cody Hagan. But realistically, after Dover, it's Carter Sinclair, Ariel Parks, and Abe Troxel. Those were the 3 highest finishers in the race. And Bubba Buchanan, who have been so dominant, who has been dominant most of the season, he really struggled, and that's why he's 4 from points. Cody Hagan also didn't have a great day, and 2 drivers that were in that hunt that fell out of it, Isaac Nichols and Torn Dieter. And to me, if you are a driver that's like Isaac Nichols, Austin Kennedy, Nick Smith, Torn Dieter, Luke Walker, that those drivers round off the rest of the top 10 points, this is probably going to be your last chance to get yourself back up into this championship hunt and still have a chance to win this championship. I don't think you're going to be able to say that heading to the next 3 races. So yeah. So how do you do that? Well, you get yourself up front and you finish great, but you also have to hope that your closest competition struggles, DNFs, crashes, whatever. They just can't finish good. And with this track being famous for the big one, I could just go on and on and on. But to me, I'm not gonna do that. Let's get this race started. Here is the starting lineup. So on the pole, Justin Tolopis becomes the second pole center to have multiple different poles. Sorry. Aiden Saunders, Dale Scott, Abe Troxel, Garrett Sinner, Cody Hagan, William Bedford, Luke Walker, Torn Deere, and Isaac Nichols. That rounds off the top 10. Here is the rest of the field. So if you want to know where the 5 drivers that are currently in the championship picture start, from 1st to 5th, 20th, 22nd, 4th, 42nd, and 6th. So a pretty scattered field. And also, lead changes. How many lead changes are we going to see? Well, even though Talladega is capable of having multiple different lead changes, we haven't really seen that. In the Truck Series race, we had only 3 different leaders, and Clive Crafton went on to win that race. In the American Ethanol Series race, only 2 different leaders, and Jim Kelly dominated the race. Andrew Gorman was the other leader. But to me, I think it all depends on how on how the cautions play out, the wrecks, etc. I think that might somehow depend on how many different leaders we'll see, and I hope that we can see different leaders. Also, we have a ton of drivers, maybe about half of the field, that could be at risk of being mathematically eliminated. Dean Orrin, Johnny Mills, Alan Souza, Frankie Reed, Dale Scott, William Bedford, Ono Balvin, Jim Kelly, Riley Smith, Bill Crafton, Ian Saunders, Matt Hoskins, Garrett Sinner, Cameron Garlandson, Daniel Voiles, Kevin Saunders, Blaine Keys, Eric Almahart, Karen Blake, Connor Brian, Glenn Buchanan, Charles Belding, and Kendall Maynor, and Pierce Aviano. That's pretty much everyone, and the ones who will and will not be eliminated, it will all depend on where they finish and where drivers like Carr Sinclair and Ariana Parks finish as well. Anyway, compared to its sister track, Daytona, the start-finish line, it's not in the middle of the tri-oval. It's a little bit closer down to turn number 1, and I think that a last lap pass is likely. Anyway, coming out of the tri-oval, into turn number 1, we are green at Talladega. And look at that! Aatrox looking to make it 3 wide as the field is already fanning out. Will we see an early caution? Chances are, most likely. 3 wide entering turn number 1, but Justin Tolabas, with the help of Dale Scott, should be able to get this lead. So exiting turn number 2, we all make it, unlike yesterday. Down into turns 3 and 4, there really is no trouble spot. A wreck can happen anywhere. And there are some times, such as in the truck race, where we had a wreck, but I did not notice it, and they didn't throw out the caution. Anyway, exiting turn 3 and 4, and now down into the tri-oval, Justin Thomas will lead the first lap. I think that Justin Thomas probably is going to be one of the strongest cars. Another driver that I think we also should watch out for is Garrett Sinor in the 16, as she is looking inside of Dale Scott. Dale Scott closes the door, and behind them we are 3 wide between Abe Choxo, Torrin Dieter, and Isaac Nichols. We're also going to have multiple different strategies today. I think we're going to have some drivers that are going to fight their way to the front, and we're gonna have drivers that might try to be a little bit more conservative and slip to the back in order to miss the big wreck. But I really don't know what the situation is like here. Oh, and there we go! Justin Aatrox and Lisa Gonzalez in the 15 down into the field, and the first caution is out. Oh, Cliff Buchanan and Lisa Gonzalez also involved. Matt Hotchkiss involved. Oh, and we have another wreck ahead of them. Andrew Gorman, Payne Keys, Frankie Reed, Daniel Voiles. Carson Sinclair, I think he does have some slight damage on the hood, but it shouldn't be anything too major. Ariana Parks got through that, but the biggest loser was Abe Choxell. Luke Walker got too close to him, made contact in the corners. You don't really ever want to make contact in the corners, and that's what happened. But anyway, now let's get a closer replay of that crash, but also the crash that happened as we came into the tri-oval, because that was a separate crash. I put the blame on Luke Walker because look at all the room he had to go to the inside, and he just did not take it. And with it being this early in the race, I feel like that there are no excuses. But anyway, so Luke Walker and Abe Chox will make contact down into Lisa Gonzalez and Riley Smith. Riley Smith is able to save the car. Lisa Gonzalez is not. The 51-17 go hard into the outside wall. Then Lisa Gonzalez sends right down into traffic, collects Daniel Voiles, and then right here things get even worse when I think it was Cliff Buchanan and Matt Hotchkiss made contact here, but look at this ahead. I think it was Frankie Reed. Oh no, wait a second. Bubba Buchanan came in with a lot more speed on the apron into Frankie Reed, into Andrew Gorman, Daniel Voiles, Carson Sinclair. Yep, there's the damage on his car. That might actually be more severe than what I thought. It might actually be enough damage to make him a slower lap traffic, which even though he probably will be able to continue, it might be even harder for him to gain positions with all that damage. The Truck Series winner, Cleb Crafton, was, I believe, dead last or second to dead last, and he entered the Calamity at a high rate of speed and was still able to avoid this crash, barely, or both crashes. This could be the end of Abe Troxell's chance of winning the championship. Another driver that barely avoided both crashes, Andrew Brandt. With this track and this racing so similar to Daytona, I thought this could be a week where Daniel Boyles could at least get a great finish, or maybe better, a win. But looks like it's not going to happen. So you got the 100 right there, but then it got even worse. Only 4 drivers, I think, will be out of the race, I think. Yes. And apparently, one of those drivers is Jim Kelly. I think Jim Kelly had some kind of a mechanical failure because he was not involved in either of those 2 crashes, I believe. So, tough luck for him. And anyways, so that wasn't really, if we were, I knew, I had a feeling that we were going to have an early caution, but I didn't think that it would be a crash like that. I thought it was going to be more of like a big one that's kind of like two drivers get together off of turn number 2, and I think as no one is able to avoid it, a 20 car pileup. Like, I mean, that's what I thought was going to happen, but it didn't happen. Anyway, here we go, restart. Dale Scott goes to the outside, and Garrett Snow does the same thing, but that's not going to work. But here we go. If Dale Scott can get to the bottom quickly, he might be able to hold on to second place. Same with Garrett Sinwar, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Here comes Ian Saunders. Oh, and there we go again. Oh no! Huge crash. Austin Kennedy, Pierce Avellano. Oh no! Car Sinclair involved. Oh my goodness, a huge crash. Oh my goodness, Cody Hagan, 5th place in points, flipping down the backstretch. Car Sinclair, the points leader, involved. Riley Smith, even more damage. Clint Buchanan has damage. Kendall Maynor has damage. Abe Troxell, he might have gone through that. Wait a second, we may not be done wrecking yet. But oh my goodness, who's left? Ariana Parks got out of that mess. She could be our points leader. Anyway, in the meantime, Justin Columbus, he will continue to lead all of his caution laps. So, I think the first driver to go sideways was Isaac Nichols, and I think you might have just saw it right there. I think he restarts in the 7th position, and so when an accident, and so just like the last crash, when an accident like that happens so far up front, it's really hard to avoid it, and it creates a huge melee. Isaac Nichols restarted in the 5th position, and here comes Carberry in the 47, right on his bumper, and the two of them make contact, and that's where it all starts. Down into William Bedford, Carberry saves the car, but Isaac Nichols got back into William Bedford, down into Torn Deer, Pierce Avellano, he just had nowhere to go. Austin Kennedy, nowhere to go, and look at Charles Bell, Kendall Maynor, Eldon Mills, Austin Kennedy. But right here, we're going to keep the camera on Isaac Nichols, because look at this. Oh, hard impact between him and Andrew Gorman, and ahead of them, I think that was all the wrecking, if it was. So now we got to take a look and see what happened with some of these other minor crashes from Austin Kennedy. Look at this. Got hit by Blaine Keys. Torn Deer, he's actually upside down along with Cody Hagan. Carter Sinclair in the 9, our points leader here. And why was he back there? Well, he was involved in the last crash. Let's see. Is there anyone else? Oh, Clint Buchanan, he got some damage in this as well. So he was trying to avoid this, and he almost avoided everyone, but not Riley Smith, but also made contact with, oh right, Kendall Maynor. Sorry. It's just that there were so many small pileups all happening at once. So that was the big one. That was the crash out. That was the crash I thought. Like, to me, this was the crash I thought. Like, this is what I thought our first crash would be, but instead it was our second crash. And now, onboard cameras galore time. Let's take 2 flybys. First from the digger cam in turn number 2, and then a camera in the middle of the backstretch, looking at turn number 2. And look at how quickly chaos can occur at Talladega. Look ahead of Isaac Nichols, a battle for the lead and a potential win. And with Isaac Nichols high up in points, but not high enough to be in the picture in a week where he could have had got himself back up into the picture, I think it's what makes this wreck and his date even worse. Carter Sinclair's day has gone from bad to worse, and this is really going to hurt him in the points. He was the points leader entering today. Do you know what? If Peter Saviano was not there, he probably could have avoided this crash. It looked like Cody Hagan was going to get out of this, but instead, what he gets is a wild ride. How does LJ Mills not have serious damage on the front of his car after this wreck? Eric Almerhart tiptoeing his way through this. The list just got even bigger. So, everyone from Andrew Gorman to Cliff Buchanan were involved in that most recent wreck and is now officially out of the race. So when I take a look at the drivers, they're still on the racetrack. Abe Troxell, just before I went on board him, I said that his hopes of when the championship might be over. But look at this, he's now inside the top 20. So. And especially with Cody Hagan and Carter Sinclair out of the race, he might get himself back up into this. Another driver who also had saved themselves from possibly win this championship, Ariana Parks restarting 7th. Anyway, green flag is out. Justin Talabas continues to lead, and maybe this time we'll get a long green flag run and maybe have some lead changes. Which we have yet to have one this race. Anyway, in the meantime, I hear Payne Keys is I think he's holding up the field. He did get some damage under the last crash. Yeah, he actually is holding up the field. We're gonna keep our eye on this. This does not look good. If Luke Walker tries to make a move. Okay, yeah. Drivers like Alan Souza, Blaine Keys, Dean Orr, and Luke Walker, Frankie Reed, they all came down, which is why Frankie Reed is. That's why he restarted ahead of them. Anyway, Justin Talabas, he continues to lead. Dale Scott behind him. Garrett Sindor. That's been the top 3 throughout most of the day. Ian Saunders is in 4th place. He's also spent most of the day in that position as well. Cameron Blake, Ariana Parks, Connor Breen stuck on the outside. Cameron Garlington, Johnny Mills. And then behind them we have Bobby Buchanan, who started dead last, now inside the top 10. Biff Crafton, Elgin Mills, Clef Crafton, Jacob Reed, and a battle for 15 between Andrew Brandt and Kevin Saunders. So that is your top 15. And I want to see here. It looks like here comes Garrett Sindor. Garrett Sindor goes to the bottom of Dale Scott, and he will get 2nd place. Or wait a second. Dale Scott shuts the door. But this top 4 have separated themselves from the rest of the field, and if we stay green the rest of the way, I think it's going to be, I think it might be hard for drivers like Cameron Blake, Ariana Parks to close in. Yeah, it looks like the whole entire field overall is a lot more calmer, but we'll just see. Anyway, to the inside, Garrett Sindor goes Ian Saunders, the Auto Club winner. Oh, wait a second, Garrett Sindor, he shuts the door. I think, the reason why that happens so often on the straightaways is because I think it's all about the draft. I think if you're, closer to the wall, I guess somehow, the draft works, or just simply the outside works. But in the corners, you definitely want to be on the inside. Justin Talabas in 27. I guess I might as well explain some things about him. It's been just a miserable It's been just a miserable season. I think he's around dead last in points. And one thing that he would like to do is finish these last 2 races out strong. In one way that would make it feel really good is by winning this race. And he's currently doing a great job with that. He has led the majority of the laps. He's actually led the most laps because we just passed halfway. Second place in points, Dale Scott, similar story. He does have a win. It came back at CL, but since then it's just not been. It also just hasn't been great. He's one of several drivers that's trying to keep themselves from being mathematically eliminated, and I think Dale Scott might be able to do it. Garrett Sinor in the 16 has the Bristol win, but it's been mostly an up and down season, mostly down season, and he's 25 in points, and once again, just like Dale Scott, at risk. Aiden Saunders, we're trying to think. He either, I think he either got eliminated last week at Dover, or he's also on the verge. I think he's actually on. I think he's actually on the verge. Cameron Blake in the 62, a driver that I feel like I really haven't talked too much about this season, but it's been up and down season for him. 19 points. Connor Breen in the 47. He's actually one spot ahead of him in points, 18th. So very similar story for him. Ariana Parks, she has been just so strong and consistent, especially in the second half of the season. Cameron Garlington in the 6th, a driver that I also feel like I haven't talked too much about the season, but a lot like Garrett Sinor, except without win. Up and down season, mostly down, 24 points, and then we have 2 teammates behind him, Johnny Mills and Eldon Mills. I believe Eldon Mills, I cannot remember. I think Eldon Mills might have been eliminated. Yeah, he actually was because he got a poor finish, got involved in a crash. Johnny Mills is trying to keep himself from being eliminated. He got a good finish last week, which saved him, but I think as the season continues on, he's not going to be able to do that. Anyway, Justin Talabas, he's led every single lap so far. And I think Dale Scott, he might just be waiting. But I gotta say, if they lose Aiden Saunders, then it's really going to be even tougher for Dale Scott to pass Justin Talabas and thus win this race. And I gotta say, judging by the pack, I think that just like in the American Ethanol Series race, we might just go green the rest of the way. But what a story it already has been in the championship picture. Carson finished in the 39th spot, and so if Ariana Parks being inside the top 10, he is definitely not going to be our points leader. Abe Troxell in the 17, it's a slightly different story. He's all by himself, just coasting. He just simply has too much damage. But to me, I think that for him, he at least has to be a little happy about. It could have been a lot more worse. And when I look at Bubba Buchanan, Bubba Buchanan around 15th position, it doesn't look like that he's gonna be able to pass too many cars. So for him, Bubba Buchanan, because Ariana Parks is in front of him by several positions, he's not gonna be able to gain on Ariana Parks, but I think he might be able to get himself back up to second place in points, and up front, and Saunders to the inside of Dale Scott. Can he make the pass side by side? This is what Justin Talabas wants to see. He wants to see these 2 drivers get side by side so he can get an even bigger lead. And it looks like at this point, Aiden Saunders might possibly be the only driver that can maybe challenge Justin Talabas. He's been slow. he started. He was the outside pole center, and since then, did slay back a little bit, but was able to stay inside the top 5, top 10, and now he's right in the thick of it, possibly in contention to get his second career victory, second time in 3 weeks. But I still think that Dale Scott and Garrett Center still have a chance. They're still are staying within distance. Oh yeah, and back to the championship picture. So Cody Hagan, the fifth and final driver that came into this weekend in the championship hunt, it looks like that. Yeah, his chances of winning the championship with him already being 22 points behind Carter Sinclair at the points at the time. Yeah, it looks like that his chances of winning the championship are over. And in the meantime, to the inside, Dale Scott goes inside of Ian Saunders. Well, he thought about it, but couldn't. Well, he actually thought about it, but couldn't complete the pass. But anyway, Dale Scott, what he might want to do, okay, he doesn't do it. But the thing is, he might want to team up with Ian Saunders, so that way he can push Ian Saunders past Justin Talampas, and then try to get by Ian Saunders, because Ian Saunders would be the leader. But to me, it seems like there are no teammates being made right now. But this could all change. I don't believe it's ever happened before at Super Speedway where one driver led every single lap and went on to win a race. Could Justin Talampas do it? That'll be the question. Oh, never mind. I need to stop questioning myself. Anyway, Ian Saunders, he's right on the bumper, so maybe he's just he might just be messing with Justin Talampas. I think we sometimes see that. You know, Ian Saunders might try to be putting a little bit of pressure on Justin Talampas. Justin Talampas, he goes in a little high. Oh yeah, Justin Talampas, he's in trouble. Here comes Dale Scott to the bottom of Ian Saunders, so that completely ruins the momentum. Justin Talampas goes down to block Dale Scott. When I think about it, like I said before, I think that Ian Saunders and Dale Scott really should work together. If they want to win this race. Or one, because to me, if they just keep on swapping second, Justin Talampas, he's gonna win this thing. And to me, at this point, it doesn't look like that caution is going to come out. We could possibly have lap traffic here. I mean, to me, Abe Troxel, I don't know. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. But or if no cautions come out, and if Dale Scott can't get by Justin Talampas on his own, he might have to hope that Abe Troxel, the lap car, gets in the way of Justin Talampas. Abe Troxel is currently in the middle of turn 3 and 4. Justin Talampas is currently down the middle of the backstretch. Here, Ian Saunders now to the inside of Dale Scott. He will be able to take the position. And right here in the field. Whoa! Bill Crafton, Dean Orton, make contact down to Kenny Hamlin. Dean Orton upside down in front of Bubba Buchanan. Oh my goodness! Caution is out, but to me, I think it's gonna end the race. Blink Keys, he might have suffered more damage. Kevin Saunders' last explainer, looks like his day is over, and I think Bubba Buchanan, I think he did get some damage in that. So the caution is out, but to me, I think the race is over. I think Justin Talampas has just won. So that's our third caution, and the race is over. Ian Saunders comes in second, Garrett in third, Dale Scott fourth, Connor Breeden top 5. But let's take a look. This pack had Alan Souza, Jacob Reed, Andrew Brandt, Biff Crafton, Dean Orton, Cleve Crafton, Kevin Saunders, and Blaine Keys, and this was by far the craziest action going on. And to me, I had a feeling that I might as well check in, and it turns out I checked in at the right time. Dean Orton hooks Biff Crafton down to Kevin Saunders, and look at Bubba Buchanan. We're going to go on board Dean Orr through a chase camera to see if contact was made, because to me it was really close. And if Bubba Buchanan was able to avoid that, that might go down as the closest call of the season. Slow motion. So Dean Orr hooks Bubba Craft down into Kevin Saunders up into Blank Keys. So yeah, you can see right there that Blank Keys did get some damage, but look at Bubba Buchanan. Oh my goodness! I don't think Bubba Buchanan actually touched Dean Orr or Big Crafton. So amazing. And slow motion. Even though this is not a real speed, you really kind of get to see up close about how violent and how much the car takes. But thankfully, these cars are safe enough that they do protect the drivers, and I think Dean Orr will be just fine. But not the way he wanted to end his day. Unless he has to go to the garage for whatever reason, and I don't think that will happen, Bubba Buchanan avoiding this crash and also gaining a couple of positions, which is also a couple of points, he's going to be closer to Ariana Parks, and I think that his championship hopes have been saved, or will be saved. Last week, he was celebrating in victory lane. This week, he's going to end his day behind the wall, on board Kevin Saunders. The race is complete. Justin Talladega leads every single lap and goes on to win at Talladega. Behind him, Aiden Saunders, Garrett Sinner, Dale Scott, Connor Breen, Ariana Parks, Cameron Blake, Cameron Garlington, Johnny Mills, LJ Mills. So that is the finishing order. And I think I've already talked enough about the championship picture. But I think heading to, I think we're heading to Road America, Elkhart Lake. Be sure to tune for that race, because I think that Road America is probably one of the most challenging road courses in the United States, and I think that it could be a fun race to watch. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it. So thank you all for watching. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and buy. Congrats to Justin Talabas on your first win this season. Now you have won in all 3 series.